Hey, happy Thursday, Decatur, and thank you for joining us. This week we're joined by the Director of Development for the City of Decatur, Alabama, Mr. Dane Shaw. Dane, it's good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. As y'all know, the search for a new director was interrupted by COVID, and we're so glad to have Dane, Katie, Brooke, and Caroline in Decatur now. I guess Katie, she started at Chestnut Grove today receiving students.
First day.
Yes, she has a master's in media, and so she's serving as the librarian at Chestnut Grove.
She is.
All right, and then the girls are in school.
Yep, Decatur High and Decatur Middle.
All right, all over the place. Very good. Well, we want to talk about all things development and what it means for our community, what we're doing now, what we're hoping to see in the future. Just a little bit about you. You joined the City of Decatur in June after serving as the Executive Director of the Black Belt Fatherhood Initiative for almost 9 years. And Dane, you earned your undergraduate degree in political science from Wheaton College, where I think you played football there and you ran track. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Both, yeah. Okay. And then you went on to earn your MBA from the University of Alabama. We talked about that. You kind of worked in, I call them teams. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so with that, you have some guys that you work with that y'all stay connected.
Sure do.
Yeah, and have a good relationship there.
Yeah, we do. We get together probably once every quarter.
Okay, good. And then, so we're just excited that y'all are here. So there certainly was a lot of discussion about the Director of Development's position in our community as we work to fill the vacancy. And while I know you've been with the fire hose syndrome as being in full-time training mode, tell our viewers what your job entails and what your role means for our city.
Yeah, sure. So I'm working all things business as far as developing any of the prospects coming into the city and also helping existing businesses. And we just want to see Decatur grow. So we're also helping the infrastructure as well, because there's a lot of infrastructure that goes into getting a company here or helping existing businesses. So
Okay.
we're overseeing 4 departments and then also helping with the recruitment and also helping the businesses that come to town. I call it smoothing out the wrinkles, kind of making the process smooth to getting here and getting on board with us.
Okay, so you mentioned 4 departments. So why don't you share with the viewers what those departments are and just a little bit about each one of them.
Okay, so I'm over planning. They obviously handle all of our zoning and the planning for the city and the different divisions that are out there. Also over engineering. Many of you know about engineering. They handle our streets and our buildings. Building and code, and the great folks that work there, they help make sure things are going the way they're supposed to based off the laws of the city. And then community development, which is the thread that ties us all together, because they handle the grants and they make sure that a lot of the things that we do get funded through grant processes.
Okay, and community development also handles code enforcement. So
sure. Yeah.
Whenever we have unsightly properties, weed enforcement, things of that nature, they
Exactly.
get to go out and deal with those things.
Yeah, they make us look nice. They help the city keep.
So you mentioned 4, but really there's 5 in that big one of economic development.
Yeah, sure.
That's really getting a lot of your time. So we have subject matter experts in each of those departments that you mentioned of the 4, but you are really kind of leading the effort in our economic development. Now, that includes a lot of our entity partners so with the chamber,
Sure.
maybe EDA, Decatur Utilities. You have a lot of friends that you end up working with to make these things move forward whenever someone reaches out. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can't do what we do alone. And so we all have a great team out there that helps get companies here and also just helps existing companies grow. And sometimes we think that business is just about bringing new companies in, but a lot of business is also helping established ones to grow in the capacity they're already in.
Yeah, I know you spent some time yesterday just working on a roadway to one of our existing large manufacturers, and I think that's going to turn out to be a very big plus for them. And then I guess the phone is ringing frequently. The overpass seems to be out on Highway 20. That was funded by the Build Grant. That's now called a RAISE grant. It's moving at a faster rate than we anticipated. Some favorable weather, some backfill that was closer to the site than expected. And now all of a sudden, someone's knocking on the door looking to develop out there. It seems like daily.
Yeah, a number of people are knocking on the door to develop, and so very exciting to see the interest out there. And it's just a matter of time before we'll start seeing people just start to take root and do something this major out there at some point.
Okay, good. Well, so from Selma to Decatur, that's quite a journey. You and your family, you moved here quickly. You settled in 10 days. Talk about that.
Well, we were originally going to get here and just get settled, and we saw a house in Old Town District, and I said to my wife, I said, we've lived in old houses before, but when we went to this one, it was completely modernized, and she wouldn't look at any other house besides that house. And so, knowing this market, how fast houses move, we bought it within 2 weeks and moved in a month later, and it's been an awesome opportunity, because the one thing we love most about Decatur are the people, and our neighbors and our friends down in Old Decatur have been so good to us and just very hospitable. And so it's just been fun to just get to be part of the neighborhood again.
Good. That's a unique neighborhood. So where we live, Sherry and I, we're in what's termed as a cul-de-sac community. And maybe we don't get as close to our neighbors as we used to, just based on the way the community is designed. You're in what's termed as a grid system, and the people are frequently walking in your neighborhood. And, you meet people pretty quick over there, don't you?
You do.
Yeah.
We had a number of neighbors that were knocking on our door, bringing us whether it's donuts or baked goods or things from their garden within the first week. And I drink coffee on my porch every morning, so I'm getting to know a lot of my neighbors that walk by.
Well, I know you'll get to return that as well. I guess tell us about your previous career as a state and federal program director, and then how does that help with your current role?
Sure. So when I was in Selma, or we call it the Black Belt region, because I was working not just Selma, but Dallas County, Perry, and Wilcox County, we were creating a lot of momentum with workforce development. So we were getting a lot of people back to work, but in that, we were building relationships with all the 30 different companies within a business network. And so we were building a pipeline to help them get into those companies. And with that, we started to, we were very proactive, and we were starting to look at buildings downtown. And so I was working with a lot of the arts and entertainment district, and working with architects and builders on how to develop some of the buildings, and led some of those projects. And with that, just like community development here, it needs to be funded. So all of that work was coming through the grant process, and it was both federal and state grants that we were running. So it was a smaller version of kind of what I'm doing here.
Okay. Well, now you've taken on a lot of change in your new role, and growth at a very quick pace that's joining the city. Are you at liberty to share with us what you think our strengths are as a municipality?
Well, I think one thing I love about Decatur is it's unique. You see that it's on the Tennessee River. You have Wheeler just to the right of us, and then you have you actually have two downtowns, which is very unique for a city. And Decatur has a lot of character to it. If you look at the city, it's not, a lot of times when things develop, they develop very quickly. Decatur has its still unique characteristics. And when you tie that in with the people here and the hospitality that people have, it's much different than if you would go into a larger city that just explodes overnight. You still have that community feel and down-home feel, even though it's growing.
Good. Well, what goals do you have as we continue to grow? And it seems like I know you have goals, but right now the goal is to try to keep up with the.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like a tiger by the tail.
Right.
But, share a little bit about some goals that you have.
Sure. Well, we want housing to grow. We know that we're growing as a city, so housing is going to be something that needs to be on the front burner. We're getting a lot of different calls about developments, so we want housing for all our different citizens in Decatur. We also want to see our existing companies grow and flourish. We were in some meetings yesterday that I think that's going to be very profitable. Some of our existing companies. But we also want to be recruiting companies into the city as well. Any of the companies that are going to be good for business in Decatur. I was talking yesterday with one of our entrepreneurial centers about helping tech companies get kind of situated downtown, how we can do that. And there's ways that we can do that by advancing technology downtown. And so just little things like that. The traditional businesses we definitely want here as well. My goal is to help companies that come to Decatur make it as seamless as possible for them to get established.
Okay.
And so a lot of that is working out the processes of how we run our departments, and also looking to the future of what kind of companies do we want in Decatur. And there's a number of people right now that are talking to me about different retail companies that they want. My daughter is got a list of companies that she's already said that she wants. So we are right now there's a lot of developers that are knocking on our door, but we're also going to be looking at bringing in different companies as well.
Okay, so I guess I'd love to hear your opinion as a welcome new resident to Decatur. What's your favorite thing about Decatur, or maybe your family's favorite thing about Decatur, or favorite things?
Yeah, so one, we already talked about the people and how hospitable they've been. And so the event that we do every third Friday is the Third Friday event. We love going downtown and seeing the community there, seeing the old cars, the restaurants are open. The downtown scene is awesome to us. The Beltline with everything going on out there, and you see all the shopping that happens out there. So we came from a smaller community that didn't have all that. And we'd have to drive 45 minutes just to get there. And just the fact that we're on a waterway right now, that with the Tennessee River is a beautiful place to waterfront property, and having that with Wheeler to next door to us is very unique, and we're outdoors people, so we really enjoy that aspect of the city.
So whenever you say Wheeler, you're speaking of the wildlife refuge?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good. Well, we're glad that you see those things, because that's the same things that we enjoy, and that you see those as valuable assets for the area. Well, any closing thoughts that you might have?
Yeah, I'm just excited about what's happening in Decatur. There's a tremendous amount of momentum, and when you're working with a community that has momentum, it's fun coming to work every day. And when you have good people in the city to work with, it's just been a pleasure to work. I don't feel like it's work. It's fast paced, which I'm used to fast paced, so I like that. So it's just going to, the next 5 to 10 years is an exciting time for the city of Decatur. And there's no wonder why everyone's looking at Decatur right now for a place to grow and to live.
That's very good. Well, listen, I want to thank you, our viewers, for joining us today. I want to thank Dane for joining us today. And remember that you can sign up for our newsletter by texting Decatur to 42828. That's Decatur to 42828. And until next time, be safe and be kind. Thank you.